All right, everybody, welcome to another video here on a Stadia Cast. My name is Lloyd Hannison from the Stadia Cast podcast. Check it out. Just do a Google search for Stadia Cast and you'll find it. Or check out the YouTube stuff here. We're available on all the podcatchers. If you want to do audio versions of our podcasts, whether it's Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, Android Music, you name it, we're there. You can follow me on Twitter at DASME. DASME, and I'm here with a little bit of a somber message for you folks today. Gonna get comfortable. I'm setting up this new look and feel from Bill. This is what he uses when he does a Stadia Cast podcast, and I'm just getting it all dialed in, so excuse me if I'm moving around a little bit, looking at my screen a little bit. But yesterday we found out some horrible news. Not horrible, actually. We found out some less than perfect news, we'll say. Some people are making out to be the end of the world. I don't think it is, but I'm going to turn that music down a little bit more. I'm bearing the lead a little bit here. This was a tweet that was sent out by CD Projekt Red. They're the creators of Cyberpunk and Cyberpunk 2077. They also did The Witcher. And they came out with a message saying, we have important news regarding Cyberpunk 2077's release date we'd like to share with you today. Cyberpunk 2077 won't make the April release window and removing the launch date to September 17th, 2020. We are currently at a stage where the game is complete and playable, but there's still work to be done. Night City is massive, full of stories, content, and places to visit, but due to the sheer scale and complexity of it all, we need more time to finish playtesting, fixing, and polishing. We want Cyberpunk 2077 to be our crowning achievement for this generation, and postponing launch will give us precious months we need to make the game perfect. Expect regular updates on progress as we get closer to the new release date. We're really looking forward to seeing you in Night City. Thank you for your ongoing support. And that's from Marcin Uwinski, co-founder, and Adam Badowski, the head of studio from CD Projekt Red. So let's dissect this a little bit. So the game was supposed to come out March, April timeframe. There was a bunch of games that were coming out around the same time. We had, I believe, Marvel's Avengers. We had Cyberpunk. We had a whole pile of games. Doom Eternal. They were all about to come out, or supposed to come out, around the same time frame. And then it seems like every single one of them has been delayed to another time. Some of them are May, some of them are June, and then this one is September. And this isn't to be, I guess it wasn't a surprise. This isn't something that is abnormal when developers are working on these huge games, especially a game like Cyberpunk 2077, where there is a whole world that is happening around you. Whether you choose to interact with those people, those stories, those missions, that stuff, or not, is totally up to the player. But there is just a sheer amount of content in this game that is unrivaled by pretty much any other game, except for maybe The Witcher 3, which had like 1,000 hours of content. Maybe not 1,000, but you could beat the game in say 40, 50 hours. But if you did every side mission, you're playing 250, 350 hours. So that is the way that CD Projekt Red makes their games. So for them to come and delay Cyberpunk 2077, it's expected. This game, I believe, had an original release window of last year, was moved to this year, and then now is moved to almost the end of this year. And to be quite honest, I wouldn't be surprised if we got another delay, just because the sheer size and just the immense amount of content that is in this game. So people were looking, let's bring this back to Stadia a little bit. People were looking to play this on Stadia. People were hoping that this would be their first big AAA game that they would buy on Stadia. And sadly, that is not going to be the case for a lot of people, unless you want to wait till September. So understandably, there's a lot of disappointment in the Stadia community. People are wondering if maybe it was a Google Stadia issue. I saw some comments online saying, oh, if they weren't releasing it on Stadia, this would be out. And that is couldn't be further away from the truth. And I'm not in the the development studio, CD Projekt Red, and I can tell you without even talking to a developer, there's no truth to that. This is just a huge game that needed more time in the oven. There's the big quote from Miyamoto. I'm going to butcher it because I don't have it in front of me, but it's a rushed game is bad forever, but a delayed game is eventually good. And that is what we're going to get here. We're going to get a few months of delay, and then we're going to be able to play an absolutely amazing title, or at least I hope it's going to be, of Cyberpunk 2077. So some other things that came out, people were talking about the delay, and I can't remember who said it, but they said, okay, well, I guess that means that there's going to be no crunch. If you're not familiar, crunch is kind of like these intense development sessions that happen prior to launch, prior to the game going gold. You get all these producers and developers and artists and AI people that are basically working 14, 16-hour days in the month leading up to going gold. It came out today that maybe that is still going to be a thing with this game. Jason Schreier over at Kotaku put out an article that says video game delays cause more crunch, and basically talks about a bunch of different things, including yesterday, Cyberpunk 2077 developer CD Projekt Red announced that it was delaying the much anticipated role-playing game from April 16th till September 17th. During a Q&A with investors last night in Poland, where the company is based, CEO Adam Kaczynski, I want to say, it probably is pronounced some other way, and my apologies to Adam, took a question about overtime in the wake of this delay, and here is how this went. So, and is the development team required to put in crunch hours? That is the question that was posed. And then Adam says, to some degree, yes, to be honest. We try to limit crunch as much as possible, but it is in the final stage. We try to be reasonable in this regard, but yes, unfortunately. So this brought up a whole other set of conversations online over the last day or so about crunch and how detrimental it is to the developers, and how maybe development cycles should be longer. In fact, I saw a bunch of people posting out in support that, hey, don't make your people crunch. We'll wait till next year. We don't want anybody to die making this video game. So it's been really interesting seeing kind of the I guess the buzz, the story, the conversation on social media, whether it's on Discord, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on Facebook, or across all the different websites, like Resetera, basically saying crunch is bad. Don't do crunch. If delaying it like 6 months leads to still having crunch, maybe delay it 8 months or 9 months. Of course, everybody wants to play this game, so hearing of more delays is probably going to be a bad thing to a lot of people. But I think for a game like this, it's pretty much a thing that is probably going to happen. There is just going to be so much that has to be done with this title. So, yeah, I guess that's it. As I said, some bad news, but not horrible news. A delayed video game isn't the end of the world. No one is gonna go hungry. No one's starving. No one's gonna like just cease to exist on this planet because a game didn't come out in April. What that gives me is a whole fall and summer to catch up on my backlog before this game comes out, because there's going to be just so much to do in this game that I should get rid of some of the, see the stuff behind me, all these games over here. Those are all Switch games, and I haven't beaten most of them. I need to get on that and play a lot of those games. So it's going to give me a lot of time to do that. It's also going to give me a lot of time to prepare for Cyberpunk coming out, and also a hell of a lot of time to do more StadiaCast podcasts and videos like this one. So anyway, if you like what we do here on StadiaCast, give us a thumbs up, hit the little subscribe button. If you want to support us, you can join our community. You can become a member. You can also give us super chats on all of our videos when we're live. We do that as well. And this is a website. This is a YouTube channel. This is a podcast that exists mainly because of all the amazing support that we've been getting from all the community out there. There is a large amount of people that are really excited about Stadia. So much so that they're starting to dwarf the people that are really upset about Stadia. There's still a lot of hate out there for Stadia, but I seem to be seeing a lot more positivity over the last little bit, and a lot of that is because of the amazing community that we're a part of, and that a lot of people are a part of here on Stadia. So anyway, if you want to find out more, go to the StadiaCast website. You can check it out at runjumpstomp.com. That's Bill's website. He's the main host of the show. If you've ever listened to the podcast, you can check out StadiaCast on any podcatcher out there, whether it's iTunes, Stitcher, Android Music, you name it. Just do a search for StadiaCast and you'll find it. Or you can head on over to youtube.com/StadiaCast. That'll get you videos like this one. That'll get you first looks. I just put up a first look of Red Dead because I finally managed to play it on Stadia, and it looks just as gorgeous on Stadia as it does on any other platform. I put up some other first looks. Bill put up some first looks. We're putting up news videos like this one. We want it to be your one-stop shop for Stadia news and views, because we are talking about various subjects that are ancillary to Stadia, that are outside of Stadia, but still are going to reference Stadia in some form as well. So anyway, that's going to do it for me, Lloyd Hannison. Dasme on Twitter, DASME. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for checking out this video, and we'll talk to you next time.